Chuckload of Comics is brought to you by Cold War Games, creators of Squarriors, Fight Your Friends, and Lady Death Last Stand. For more information, visit coldwar.us.
This week on Chuckload of Comics, Jon Snow is making his way to Chicago. We have details on how you can meet Mr. Kit Harington. DC announces a new line of horror comic books headed up by the guy who brought you Lock and Key. And our good friend Mr. Paul Rudd is joining the cast of the Jason Reitman Ghostbusters coming out in 2020. All that plus the results of this week's viewer poll right here on Chuckload of Comics. Hey guys, welcome back to an all-new episode of Chuckload of Comics. It's finally Sunday.
Yay!
We finally get to unload all of the nerdy goodness that we've been saving up so we can unload it on you guys. If this is your first time to the YouTube channel, guys, welcome to Chuckload of Comics. Every single Sunday, we do sort of a breakdown of all the geeky news that happened over the course of the past 7 days. I've been bottling it all up this week.
Oh my gosh.
There's a ton to unpack, guys. If this is your first time to the channel, please click that subscribe button. Join the Chuckload of Comics family. We're here every single Sunday on YouTube. Like I said, breaking down the news for you. Let's get right into it, guys. We got a lot to cover. First up, the viewer poll. The results of this week's viewer poll. If you're unfamiliar with the show, every single Friday on Instagram, we post a viewer poll question. To you, the viewer, give you a chance to be part of the fun.
That's right.
This week's viewer poll question on Instagram. It's July, and there's some crazy movies coming out. So we wanted to ask you guys, we got Spider-Man and The Lion King coming out in July. Who's going to do better at the box office? We asked. And you guys answered with vigor, not the way I thought you would answer. I thought for sure Lion King was going to take it, but in a score, a percentage of 75 to 25, you guys think Spider-Man is going to crush Little Simba at the box office.
I'm surprised you disagree with that.
Okay. It's Lion King, man. It's going to make a ton of money. All right, so give me one reason why you think Spider-Man's going to crush it.
It's Marvel, and just the reviews that are coming out about Spider-Man right now, I think it's great.
They're insanely glowing.
But to your point, I think maybe people are burnt out a little bit of Marvel. I don't know.
You think?
Maybe.
It is coming right off the heels of Endgame.
Yeah.
But I think that's what kind of what they did with Ant-Man after
that's true.
Infinity War. They rolled out Ant-Man and the Wasp right after Infinity War. Everybody needed that breath of fresh air, which I think Spider-Man's going to be, even though the trailers do look a little bit depressing.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm sorry, guys. I think Lion King is going to stomp all over.
Oh.
So I think Lion King is going to be the number 2 box office of 2019.
Wow.
Because it's Lion King, man. People love Lion King.
I know.
And it's Disney. It's going to have all the Disney bucks behind it.
I'm looking forward to it. We already have our tickets. We're going to see it.
Yeah, well, if you guys didn't have a chance to vote in the viewer poll, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Is Spider-Man going to win at the box office overall, worldwide?
Probably.
Or is Lion King going to Hakuna Matata all over Peter Parker? Let us know what you think in the comment section, guys. Next big story, a little piece of Comic-Con news. We mentioned at the opening of the show, Mr. Jon Snow from the Game of Thrones show is coming to the city of Chicago.
Wow, Mr. Kit Harington.
Kit Harington's coming to Ace Comic-Con October 11th through the 13th at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center.
Yeah.
If you're coming to Ace Comic-Con, guys, get excited. Donald E. Stevens Convention Center is killer.
Yes.
Way better than
location.
Navy Pier. Ace was at Navy Pier last year, which was an incredible convention. If you guys went, let us know in the comment section what you thought about it. But the Stevens Convention Center is massive. It's so cool. It's made for Comic-Con.
Yes, I agree.
So get your tickets for Jon Snow. Why do I say that? Because 2 weeks ago, they announced Brie Larson's also coming to Ace Comic-Con, and her stuff has sold out.
That's crazy.
Almost completely, guys. Captain Marvel, all of her VIP tickets are sold out completely for the entire weekend. Her Saturday, last I checked, her Saturday photo ops were 65 or 70% sold out completely.
And her autographs
100% sold out. You cannot get an autograph from Miss Brie Larson, even if you wanted one.
Wow.
They're all sold out. They might unveil some more, depending on how fast the autographs line go.
I guarantee Kit Harington's going to be the same way.
If you want to meet Mr. Jon Snow, go to acecomiccon.com and get your tickets.
Do it quick.
Get them, because they're going to sell out crazy fast. I've heard rumorings they're actually going to do... They have rumored plans to bring multiple Game of Thrones stars to the con.
So you can do like the group photo op.
Maisie Williams. Oh my God, that'd be awesome.
That'd be so
With
cool.
the entire Stark family, that'd be so cool.
That'd be great.
So guys, waste no time. Go to acecomiccon.com, get your tickets for the convention. Get some of those last photo ops for Brie Larson and, of course, Kit Harington, Jon Snow. He's going to feel right at home in this freezing city of Chicago. Get
It's
your
gonna be
fuzzy
winter in
coat.
October
I know
already.
winter is coming, as it does every year in Chicago,
That's
right
right.
around October. So, guys, in comic book news, DC Detective Comics, right on the heels of their announcement of canceling the Vertigo line of comic books, which shocked people last week. They announced this week a new line of comic books. It's going to be sort of a pop-up line of horror-based comic books called Hill House Comics.
I love it. I'm
The
so
project,
excited for this.
the project is going to be headed up by Joe Hill, the creator of Lock and Key. Joe Hill actually had an interview with Entertainment Weekly. Kind of broke. He really loved this interview. What he said. Joe Hill talked to EW and said, "I've always been a comic book writer first. When I started writing comics, I felt almost instantly that I had discovered my element. It was the version of writing I liked best. I felt when I worked in comics that my strengths were amplified, and the stuff I struggled with as a writer almost completely vanished." He said, "Working on Lock and Key was one of the most satisfying creative experiences of my life."
Wow.
If you guys haven't read Lock and Key by Joe Hill,
Oh, it's great.
It's a classic. It's an instant classic. Gabriel Rodriguez, I think, was the artist. You got to check out Lock and Key because that show's coming out on Netflix
Yes.
pretty soon.
Oh my gosh.
So basically what they're going to do, they're launching 5 limited series comic books to
Such
kind
a
of
great
launch this
idea.
Hill House thing. We're going to break down all 5 of them so you kind of know what to expect when this thing launches. The first one is called Basket Full of Heads.
Great title.
This Basket Full of Heads, this one's actually written by Joe Hill himself, which is great. The story Basket Full of Heads, it starts with a young couple house-sitting in a New England mansion filled with Viking artifacts, coins, shields, axes. When a storm hits and brings with it some home invaders, a fight ensues, and the girl in the story reaches for the Viking axe, which we find out has supernatural powers. Not only does this axe lop off a head in a single stroke, but then the heads keep talking. Cue the talking heads music.
Talking heads.
So the heads start stacking up, and each of them tell their own version of what they've done and how they had, why they had to do what they had to do. All right, kill the talking heads music. This is cool. This feels very much like a Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
A bunch of talking heads in a basket explaining their story. I assume each issue is going to be maybe a
different
head telling a different story.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All from the brain of Joe Hill.
He
It's
said
gonna
he's
be
been
great.
working on this concept for a while, and he didn't know whether to put it into a book or a short story, and he's going to put it into a comic. Very
Love
excited
it.
about Basket Full of Heads.
Oh my gosh.
The next one is called The Dollhouse Family. This one's written by Mike Carey and illustrated by Peter Gross. The Dollhouse Family, they're going to be exploring the life of Alice, who was gifted a big, beautiful dollhouse as a child,
Creepy.
filled with a magical family of dolls. As she gets older, Alice returns to the dollhouse with some unexpected results. So that's pretty nice. A bunch of
Nice.
talking magical dolls and a
Always
creepy
creepy.
old dog. You mix kids and creepy dolls, I'm in.
Yeah, exactly.
You got me. And it's perfect for comic book writing.
Oh my gosh.
The next one's called Low Woods. This one is written by Carmen Maria Machado. Low Woods is the story about a Pennsylvania mining town afflicted by a mysterious plague that eats people's memories.
What?
Isn't that weird?
Oh my gosh.
A lot of New England-based stuff going on here. You got
Well,
Pennsylvania,
gee, come on.
the Kings, and the Hill family love their New England stories.
Absolutely.
Basket Full of Heads. This takes place in New England.
Of course.
So that's Low Woods. The next one is called Daphne Byrne. It is written by Laura Marks and illustrated by Kelly Jones. Daphne Byrne, love this concept. It's set in gaslight 1800s New York.
Oh, cool.
Think like Gangs of New York. I love
Right?
those time period pieces.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be great.
The character Daphne Byrne discovers she has a strange, insidious entity living within her body. I'm excited about this one because
I'm
I love.
excited about all of these.
I like that time period.
Yeah.
Kind of gaslight streets of New York, very Gangs of New York-y.
The illustration in this book's going to be great.
I know. God, I can't wait. Well, the final one is a book called Plunge. This one is also going to be written by Joe Hill. They haven't announced who the artist is going to be for this one yet, but it's written by Joe Hill, so you know it's going to be good.
course.
This one's really neat. So basically, The Plunge, back in the 80s, a highly advanced research vessel went missing near the Arctic Circle, only to suddenly reappear 40 years later, and now it's sending a distress signal. So this research vessel went missing. Nobody knew where it was. 40 years later, it just magically reappears and starts sending out this distress signal. Well, a team of American researchers is sent to salvage the vessel, and what they find, they find there's oil on this ship. The oil has very unusual properties. And when the men who were on the original research vessel, they emerge from the island caves where I guess they've been kind of hiding out, their eyes have been eaten away.
Ugh.
They haven't aged a day in 40 years, and they're capable of performing unfathomable mathematical feats. What does that sound like to you, Shauna? Sounds like aliens to me, right?
Right?
I mean, they
This
haven't
is
aged in
kinda
40 years.
crazy.
Their eyes have been eaten away for some reason, and they got
Wow.
like mathematical super knowledge.
Oh, I can't wait for these
Sounds
books.
very fire in the sky
Right?
to me.
So all these books are going to be mini-series, right? You said
Yes.
they're like short
It's
synopsis.
going to be 5 limited series that kind of launch
Perfect. I
Hill
love
House
it.
Comics in
Because
DC.
that tells me they have a start and a finish, like in mind.
Yes.
All the writer. That's perfect.
I mean, Joe
love
Hill's
it.
known for doing short stories.
Right.
I mean, he also is a novelist, but some of his best books are actually collections of short stories.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about this.
I know, this is gonna be
Basket Full of
great.
Heads, The Dollhouse Family, Lolo Woods, Daphne Byrne, and Plunge. Check it out, guys. There's more information online. You can do your
Yeah.
research on Hill House Comics. And, of course, Joe Hill. Follow him all over social media. He's dropping all kinds of little nerd nuggets
So
about this upcoming thing. So
cool.
Joe Hill, man, it's a Joe Hill's world right now, man.
I know, right?
We're
You
just
got
all living in it.
Nosferatu on TV and AMC.
Lock and Key.
Ugh.
Crushing it at DC. He's now like taking over
Right?
DC Comics. My God, what a time to be Joe Hill.
I am so excited for this Hill House series. I want to see like Cullen Bunn do a story and
Good
like
call.
all these horror like comic writers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jeff
I can't wait.
Lemire,
Freaking
Cullen
Donny
Bunn,
Cates.
Donny Cates
I
can
know,
write some really
like-
awesome horror comics.
It's just
Joe,
so excited.
listen to what we're saying, man. Get Cullen Bunn
Definitely
on
get
board.
Cullen Bunn on board.
Amazing horror writer.
Yeah.
So, guys, our final story of the day. Good friend of the Chuckload of Comics show, Mr. Paul Tiberius Rudd,
Of course.
loves our show. I was talking to him the other day on the phone. He
Yeah.
said he's never missed an episode of Chuckload of Comics.
Why
Since
would you?
I mean, who does?
Yeah.
Well, apparently, Paul Rudd doesn't. We're just kidding. Never met the man in my entire life.
Yes, you have. You met him once.
Oh, yeah, I did meet him. Here's the picture. I did meet Paul Rudd. I totally forgot. Good call. Well, he announced on his social media that he is going to be joining the cast of the new Jason Reitman written and directed Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect casting.
He
man.
went on to Instagram. He put a clip. We're going to show you the clip. Shauna, cue up the clip. While Shauna's queuing up the clip, I'm going to share with our viewers a little anecdote of when we went to the Ghostbusters Firehouse. We went, I think it was 2016. We were
Yeah.
at New York Comic Con,
Yep.
and we made a pilgrimage to the Ghostbusters Firehouse, only to find out that it was completely covered in scaffolding and tarps, and we couldn't even see the building.
Very disappointing.
We got a great picture of us in front of a scaffolding-covered building.
Yep.
Which was apparently the Ghostbusters Firehouse. So, without further ado, guys, you got the clip queued up?
I got it all queued up, man. It's right here.
All right, cool.
Ready
Let's
to
roll,
go.
guys. This is Paul Rudd announcing his role in the upcoming Ghostbusters.
You see, this is what happens. Every day, people coming out and taking pictures of this magnificent building.
And really, can you blame them? Can you blame them? It's such an epic film. I love it. I'm a fan. When I heard that Jason Reitman was going to be doing a new version in the fall, and my agents called him and said, "Hey, Jason, we hear there's a part of a young, semi-young, strapping man that needs to be cast. Who are you going to call?" When I heard that they were going to call me, well, as you can imagine, I nearly slimed myself. I can't wait to join the cast this fall for Ghostbusters. In fact, I'm sliming myself right now.
Thank you, Mr. Paul Rudd.
Right?
Very exciting stuff. I love it. He said he slimed himself. That was hysterical. He's a hilarious guy, and I really like the other people who are in the video, kind
I
of walking
know.
around in the background, not realizing that Paul Rudd is right there shooting an Instagram video.
Exactly. They have no idea that Paul
Totally
Rudd's, like,
clueless, those
3
people.
feet away from him.
So, guys, a little more info on the Ghostbusters movie. It comes out in 2020. It's yet to be titled. We just know it's going to happen. It's going to happen in 2020. Some returning cast members. Sigourney Weaver's returning to the new Ghostbusters
gosh.
movie. Annie Potts is returning to the new Ghostbusters
Wow.
movie. Dan Aykroyd is returning as an actor and also as a producer. This was kind of his baby.
So cool.
Him and Ivan Reitman and Jason Reitman. And Bill Murray rumored to come back.
Yeah. he
Nothing's
will.
official. I think they're all going to come back.
They're all going to come back.
Rick Moranis.
What?
Please come back.
Oh,
No.
I was going to say.
He's currently in retirement from acting altogether.
Oh,
So if they bring
Rick.
back Rick, that would be
Come
killer.
back for this, please.
So
This
some
would be
new
perfect.
cast members. Finn Wolfhard, from
Oh, nice. Stranger
from
Things
It
and It.
and Stranger
Yeah.
Things. Finn
Oh,
Wolfhard's going to be in the movie. Carrie Coon, who played Proxima Midnight in Avengers Infinity
Sweet.
War and Avengers
Nice.
Endgame. Love Carrie Coon. I've seen pictures of her. She looks nothing like she does in the Proxima Midnight makeup.
I would hope not.
She's a gorgeous, gorgeous lady. McKenna Grace, who I think is going to be like Finn Wolfhard's kind of kid sidekick. McKenna Grace, I first saw her. She played the young Tanya Harding in the I, Tanya movie.
Oh, nice.
So,
okay.
good ice skater.
Sweet.
McKenna Grace, she's been in lots of other stuff. That's the first time I ever got introduced to her. So, guys, what do you think, man? Are you excited about Paul Rudd? Is it not the most amazing piece of casting ever?
Oh my gosh, it's great.
He's
going
to bring that charm, that
Right.
fun Paul Rudd energy that you see in Ant-Man to Ghostbusters, which is exactly what this movie needs.
Exactly. He's like the perfect actor for this.
He
and
is.
He's excited about it.
And
you
he's
can tell.
excited.
He's like,
That's the best part. He's
yeah.
the Bill Murray of our age.
right?
And it is. It's nice to see how excited he is about the project.
Oh, I'm excited.
Me too.
Thank
so that's
you, Paul Rudd.
All right, so that's our story that's all our stories for the week, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. If you're excited about the Ace Comic-Con, the Jon Snow coming, the Hill House comics, of course, Paul Rudd and Ghostbusters, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. And join us here next Sunday, guys. We're here every single Sunday breaking down the nerd news of the week right here on YouTube. When a nerd nugget drops, we pick it up and we hurl it at you every single Sunday. Click
Lovingly.
that subscribe button, join the Chuckload of Comics family, and we will see you here next Sunday. Have a fantastic week.
Bye-bye.